So in this third method, what I'll be doing is I'll actually be using some of my adjustment layers after I make selections to do something called posterizing. And I want to start with the one that I've been working on. So I've got this image that I've posterized, and I'm doing that all by selections. And what you can see is that I've got the background layer, but then as I open up this group that I made, I've got a lot of posterized layers, which is creating this sort of blocked out effect. That's what posterizing is. So in order to do this, I'm going to start from scratch to show you with this clean file here. And I'm going to stay in my background layer. Now, again, it's not a bad idea to take that background layer, drag it to the new layer button, make a copy, just in case you need to go back to a clean layer if you do something accidentally here. So all of my selections are going to be made in my image layer. And again, I'm just using the magic wand to do that because it selects by sort of values and colors. And I'm also going to zoom in with my navigator as I work so I can really examine what those colors are or those values are. So I've got my magic wand, I'm in one of my image layers, and I'm going to select, and then I'm going to go down to the adjustment layers and I'm going to choose Posterize. And as I choose Posterize, a good levels is probably like 4, or as I change the levels, as I go higher, it separates out those values even more. So the smaller number of values you have, the fewer colors. So that's 5. But if I kick it up to 9, then those values become a broader range. So I like something between 4 and 5, but you can test and see what works best for you. And so that's my first posterized layer. And it's starting to pile up here right above all of my images. And I'm just going to continually go back to the image layer, grab my magic wand tool, click on my highlights, midtones, and shadows, and then grab my adjustment layer and choose Posterize and go in on all the different areas. Now what I did was I made a group because as I keep working on this, I'm going to have a lot of layers here that start to build up. And to manage those, when you use this folder here, that's called a group, you can actually create a group and drag layers into that group and then keep them tidy here. Now this little arrow will let you keep them all cleaned and either open the folder or close the group folder. And so maybe I work on my skin in one layer or one group, and then I could work on my hair if I'm going to use the same adjustments and posterize for that second area of the photograph. If you're interested in actually changing the colors, then what you want to do is you want to go into that group and add a hue saturation adjustment. So I'm on top of all my posterize layers. I grab my adjustment layer and choose hue saturation. I've already got one in here, so I can double click on the properties here. And then as I slide across, all of that yellow hue that was kind of natural to the photograph is now shifting around depending on what color scheme you want to go for on this. And I think I've got a lot of interesting contrast when I'm in the bluer areas. But again, that's hue saturation, and it's sitting as an adjustment layer on top